The movie begins with scenes of year 1984, a year filled with festivities and memorable moments worldwide. Sonny Vaccaro, a talent scout for Nike Shoe Company, faced challenges in discovering new basketball division talents. As the spirited leader of a sports shoe company, Sonny was constantly on the lookout for athletes who could enhance their shoe product's reputation. In that year, Converse dominated basketball shoe sales with 54% market share, trailed by Adidas at 29%, while Nike held the remaining 17%. At the time, Howard White, the head of Nike's basketball shoe division, noted that Adidas was gaining popularity among American teenagers, largely due to its association with new rappers. Meanwhile, Converse had already solidified its position as a basketball shoe, endorsed by legends Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. However, Nike faced a challenge with Mech, as it was primarily known as a jogging shoe, which proved less profitable since the youth showed limited interest in running shoes. This posed a hurdle in reaping profits from the teenage market. Within Nike, the basketball division faced financial challenges, and Sonny was displeased to discover that their iconic slogan, "Just Do It," had origins linked to the final words of a death penalty recipient. In a marketing division meeting led by Rob Strasser, efforts were made to select an NBA rookie as their new ambassador. The first choice, Hakeem Olajuwon, was unattainable as he was committed to another brand. Sam Bowie, the next pick, had already been approached by Converse, and Michael Jordan, the third pick, was on the verge of a deal with Adidas. Negotiating with such prominent brands posed a significant challenge for Nike. Meanwhile, the fourth pick, Sam Perkins, was deemed less photogenic by the team, leaving only options from the 5th to the 20th pick. John Stockton, a Utah Jazz legend, and Charles Barkley, a 76ers legend, were considered, but each had drawbacks that led the team to refrain from selecting either. The meeting failed to yield a decision, prompting Rob to leave, and Sonny followed suit. Both ended up chatting in the toilet. Sonny suggested focusing solely on Michael Jordan, but Rob opposed it, citing the high cost of approaching Jordan. Nike's budget was limited to $250,000, intended for contracting 3 players. Sonny then visited the office of Phil Knight, the CEO of Nike Company, to confirm the budget. However, Phil expressed dissatisfaction due to the previous year's decline in revenue. The board proposed disbanding the basketball division, as it was not contributing significantly to the company's profit. Despite that, Sonny requested a budget increase, proposing to double the offer, but Phil promptly rejected the idea. Sonny argued, emphasizing the revenue generated from selling running shoes and asserting that the company should invest in the basketball division. Phil explained that basketball shoes were primarily worn for playing basketball, whereas running shoes had versatile use, making them more profitable. Sonny remained convinced of basketball's profitability, but Phil responded with a mundane philosophy about running. The meeting resumed, only to face another deadlock. Sonny persisted in conducting his survey, observing figures who served as ambassadors for various products, including cereals. He also inquired about basketball players with promising futures. One night at Sonny's house, he multitasked, watching 2 shows simultaneously. The first was a tennis racket advertisement featuring Arthur Ashe as the ambassador, emphasizing a product tailored to the user's character. The second was a video recording of Michael Jordan making a decisive score for North Carolina. Sonny was profoundly affected when he saw the broadcast, replaying the scene multiple times. The next day, Sonny eagerly visited Rob's office to share what he had witnessed the night before. Rob didn't find anything extraordinary about it, but Sonny offered a different perspective. In that crucial moment, the ball wasn't passed to James Worthy, a seasoned player, but rather to Michael Jordan, an 18-year-old teenager. Sonny felt that entrusting the decisive seconds to a teenager without the burden of experience was a significant coaching decision. Sonny perceived a sense of greatness in young Michael Jordan, fueling his determination to recruit him. He was willing to go to any lengths to sign Jordan, expressing disinterest in the 3 other players. However, Rob adamantly rejected the proposal, unwilling to take a gamble on a single player. He argued that the budget needed to be distributed among 3 players, and approaching Adidas with a $250,000 offer would be a competitive disadvantage. Additionally, focusing solely on one player risked losing the opportunity to secure an ambassador if negotiations fell through. Sonny shared his idea with Howard White, who expressed skepticism about Phil agreeing to the proposal. Sonny, however, remained undeterred, focusing on how to approach Michael Jordan. Despite the challenge of Jordan being an Adidas fan and the hurdle of his agent, Sonny reached out to David Falk, Michael Jordan's agent, to schedule a meeting. David bluntly conveyed that it wouldn't happen. Michael Jordan had explicitly stated his reluctance to meet with anyone from Nike. Sonny attempted to remind David about Adidas's history, developed by the Nazis, and urged him not to align with a controversial brand like Adidas. However, David grew irritated and confirmed that Michael Jordan would only meet with Converse and Adidas for sealing any agreement. When asked about the offer leak, David disclosed that Adidas had offered around $200,000. Sonny faced a dilemma, acknowledging that such a sum was substantial for a rookie. Nevertheless, he informed Phil that he was prepared to take a career risk for the sake of securing the agreement. Sonny urged Phil to reminisce about his initial struggles when building the company, emphasizing the importance of taking risks. While Adidas and Converse had official offers ready, Nike was still unprepared. Phil insisted on meeting Michael Jordan before presenting an official offer, contrary to David Falk's condition of accepting meetings only from brands with official offers. Sonny took matters into his own hands, meeting with George Raveling, a basketball coach of the American Olympic team who had a close connection to Michael Jordan. George conveyed that Michael Jordan had expressed reluctance to join Nike because he found their shoes not cool enough. Despite the tempting offer of a bonus and a dream car, Jordan was unwilling to sign a contract with Nike. Interestingly, Jordan was an avid Adidas fan, and even though his team was sponsored by Converse, he exclusively wore Adidas shoes during training, switching to the sponsor's shoes only before matches. George pointed out that the key decision-maker regarding Jordan's agreement was his mother, Dolores Jordan. Sonny considered approaching Michael Jordan's family directly, but George cautioned that such an unethical act could lead to Sonny being fired. Despite the warning, Sonny comprehended the potential consequences and was willing to sacrifice everything to secure the agreement. He communicated this commitment to Howard White, who understood Sonny's aspirations. Even if Howard were to forbid it, he realized Sonny would persist because Sonny was well aware of the potential repercussions. Sonny arrived in Carolina and received a warm welcome from Michael Jordan's friendly father. It became evident that, during Sonny's visit, Michael Jordan's mother was overseeing the household. Although Sonny had not yet met Michael Jordan, Dolores, Michael's mother, preferred that Sonny persuade her first. Sonny attempted to change Dolores's perspective by suggesting that if Michael Jordan signed with Converse, he would join other esteemed players under the company. Despite Michael being associated with Adidas, Sonny highlighted the significant issues facing the company after A.D. Dassler's death. Sonny also emphasized that if Michael joined Nike, he would be the focal point and receive special treatment, providing this explanation to Dolores. Frustration swept over everyone as David Fox angrily snapped and cursed due to Sonny's impolite behavior. Despite this, Sonny ultimately conveyed a message from Dolores that Michael Jordan was willing to meet the following Monday night. Phil, equally furious with Sonny for what he perceived as overstepping the CEO's position, allowed Sonny to proceed with the meeting, but he refrained from making an official offer. Phil contemplated the situation, considering the possibility of canceling the meeting. However, Sonny pressed forward and, during the encounter, met Rob, who was enthusiastic about the upcoming meeting with Michael Jordan. Sonny swiftly entered the creative room, requesting the development of a prototype shoe to present to Michael Jordan. He specified that the shoes should possess a charisma and characteristics reflective of Michael Jordan, prioritizing design over function. The designer had only a few days to complete this task. Michael Jordan eventually held his inaugural meeting with the potential endorser, Converse. During the meeting, he received impressions of Converse advertisements featuring Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Julius Erving. Dolores began to realize that her son would only hold the fourth position in the company. She began to grasp Sonny's earlier explanation. Upon returning to Nike, Peter Moore, the designer, completed the prototype shoes for Jordan. However, there were aspects that didn't meet expectations. The color was overly flat, predominantly white. Peter clarified that the design adhered to NBA regulations, where all player-worn shoes were required to be predominantly white. He further explained that violating this rule would result in a fine of $5,000 per game for the player. Rob suggested incorporating the dominant red color, aligning with the Chicago Bulls colors, and committing to covering all fines imposed on Michael Jordan. The team agreed to this proposal and initiated the work. Peter introduced another idea, naming the shoes with Air, a concept initially intended for a different product, and appending Michael Jordan's name to it. Thus, the iconic basketball shoe, Air Jordan, was born under Nike. The trio worked tirelessly, staying late at the office and even dedicating weekends to finalize the presentation. Prior to meeting Michael Jordan, Peter had completed the final design, a design that left everyone shocked and in awe. On Saturday, Michael Jordan's parents attended a meeting with Adidas, where they were presented with various shoe models for Michael. Dolores expressed dissatisfaction with the designs, particularly noting the absence of a clear decision-maker at Adidas, aligning with Sonny's earlier description of the company. On that Sunday afternoon at the Nike office, Phil observed his team working diligently to prepare for the upcoming meeting. Without much ado, Phil inquired about the name of the shoe, and Sonny mentioned Air Jordan, as conveyed by Peter the night before. Phil hesitated briefly but ultimately approved a meeting for the next day. That night, the team began organizing the offer and strategy, displaying enthusiasm and confidence. The following day, as expected, the Nike office near the Oregon mountains warmly welcomed the arrival of the future legend, Michael Jordan, and his parents. During the discussion about the contract offer, Dolores told Sonny that Michael Jordan might appear disinterested, as he was compelled to be present in the meeting room. Despite seeming uninterested, Michael Jordan eventually showed attraction when he saw the red prototype shoes, mirroring the Chicago Bulls jersey. Sonny and Rob expressed their readiness to pay any fines, and Howard White helped break the ice. Phil arrived late, giving the impression of being busy but intentionally saving time for this crucial meeting. During the marketing presentation on the printed media publication plan, Rob displayed a presentation that caught Sonny's attention. Suddenly, Sonny interrupted, asking Rob to halt the presentation. Instead, he delivered an inspirational speech that deeply touched Michael Jordan and his family. Sonny explained that while Michael Jordan could gain wealth and fame by signing with other brands, Nike offered something unique, an everlasting legacy. He emphasized that shoes are just shoes until someone steps into them, and with Air Jordan, it could carry a mission to immortalize Michael Jordan's name. The powerful statement left the Jordan family speechless. Phil promptly handed over the official offer letter, marking it as Nike's most substantial contract offer to an athlete. Nike had been in search of a star, and they were confident that Michael Jordan was the one. Dolores, convinced by the persuasive oration, brought the contract and requested everyone to wait. The team recognized the successful outcome of the meeting in swaying the superstar away from Adidas. Despite being slightly offended by the notion that their names would be forgotten, Phil, as the founder of Nike, showed great respect for Sonny's earlier speech. He was certain that his name stood on par with other legends like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The following days were tense as Sonny and the team anxiously awaited news from Dolores. The situation seemed precarious, and they were unsure whether luck was on their side. A few days later, the call came not from Michael Jordan but from Howard White, who had developed a close relationship with Jordan's father. He conveyed the unsettling news that Adidas had resubmitted their bid, offering the same value as Nike plus a Mercy 380 SL car. Sonny felt a pang of disappointment as they couldn't match or exceed the new offer. This was the best they could provide. The thought of disappointing Rob, who had been a strong supporter, weighed heavily on Sonny. There was a looming sense that tomorrow might mark the end of the Nike basketball division, making Sonny apprehensive about the future in the office. Then, the pivotal call came unexpectedly from Dolores herself, having taken full control over all of Michael Jordan's decisions. She conveyed the decision to reject Adidas' offer and opt for Nike. Sonny was overjoyed to learn that Dolores had accepted Nike's offer of $250,000 plus a bonus of a red Mercedes-Benz 380 SL. However, there was one additional condition. Dolores proposed a term that would revolutionize the entire contract, establishing new rules between the product and the brand ambassador. She insisted that Sonny and Nike embody the sentiments expressed in their promotion, committing to imprint Michael Jordan's name on their shoe products. Furthermore, she insisted that all Air Jordan products bear her son's name, and for every sale of Air Jordan shoes, her son must receive a percentage of sales royalties. Sonny was somewhat unsurprised to learn that such a groundbreaking contract had never been attempted before. Listening to this request was challenging, and Dolores acknowledged the usual demands placed on sponsored athletes, consistent and outstanding performance to drive sales. She emphasized the need for a mutually beneficial solution, creating fairness on both sides. Dolores quoted Sonny's own words, highlighting that shoes only gain significance when someone steps into them. Despite Sonny's efforts to adjust the offer, Dolores remained steadfast in insisting on the submitted condition. The demand reflected her conviction that a true partnership between Nike and Michael Jordan should go beyond conventional contracts, ensuring a win-win scenario for both parties. Phil anxiously awaited news from Michael Jordan, and although the delivered message was unpleasant, he unexpectedly chose not to dwell on it. Phil urged Sonny to contact Dolores immediately and agree to the contract, deciding to embrace the risk once again. Returning to the slogan he used when he started the company, Phil demonstrated a willingness to take the leap. Sonny reached out to Dolores, conveying the company's acceptance of all requests. The victory was announced to the team as Sonny invited Rob into the office, revealing they had successfully signed Michael Jordan. The moment marked the most successful contract in the company's history. The first year of Air Jordan sales exceeded expectations, generating a staggering $162 million. This extraordinary income transformed Nike's image instantly. Air Jordan continued to be a massive success, contributing an average income of $4 billion per year for Nike. Michael Jordan himself experienced a continuous passive income, reaching approximately $400 million annually from Air Jordan sales. Following the success of the first Air Jordan, Peter Moore introduced a new logo idea, a silhouette of Michael Jordan in a layup pose. Michael Jordan's contract with Nike revolutionized the model for contracts between products and players, establishing a precedent that continues to be followed to this day. With this movie concludes. I hope you have liked this movie recap. Please like, share and subscribe for more real recaps.